Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to a Zombicide 2nd Edition, a rather silly expansion. We are hopping into Monty Python's Flying Circus. So this is like a British sketch comedy. And a bunch of really funny comedians do really funny and goofy, wacky things. Some of them are just so nonsensical, which I think is going to be very interesting to play in Zombicide, which is, I don't want to say necessarily to be the most serious game, but like it's more or less. So this is the big box that came out. We're going to get a bunch of new survivors. We're going to get 6 new survivors, some new abominations, some new zombie cards, some guys that, worker others, some new equipment as well, plus I think 1 new scenario. In the middle of the zombie apocalypse, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. So I've seen Monty Python stuff here and there. I've seen some of the Flying Circus. I've seen some of their other movies, Spam a lot, some of that. I'm not like so versed in everything that I know exactly who all these people exactly are, but some of them are recognizable enough just from pop culture. So Zombie Invasion is about to get very silly indeed with the addition of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Some of the most classic, nonsensical creations from the classic English TV comedy show come from the tabletop through amazing miniatures and irreverent gameplay. Not irrelevant, irreverent gameplay. This set adapts some of the funniest sketches to ever grace the small screen into survivors and hordes of enemies, as well as new equipment. Even a new mission, grab a herring or a good pair of mice playing mallets, get ready to face the most unexpected foes. Alright, so besides going through this expansion, we are also going to look at the promo Gumby pack, which is just some extra more characters. We're going to get some extra guys. We'll look at this a little bit more when we get to it. But this was a pre-order exclusive. If you pre-order the big box, you got this for free. The pre-orders with these sets generally don't hit retail. So you can maybe find someone on eBay, maybe Amazon, that are selling it for an extra bunch of money. But that's one reason why we'll go over it, so you can decide whether it is worth you spending the extra money to get this extra little pack. Alright, but let's go ahead and hop into this. We're going to look at the survivors to begin with. So let's go ahead and grab a miniature here. Oh, there we go. Come on, camera, focus for me. Let's see if maybe if I move over this way, I might get a little bit better lighting. That might help. So here we have, and we'll look at our character card first. We have the Lumberjack. So like, I don't recognize this as one of the sketches, but again, I haven't seen every single thing. I've seen it here and there, but I haven't like watched all of it. But hey, even still, like, this could definitely fit into Zombicide. Just a lumberjack guy is now like marrying axing or menacing pose. But he is still like, see a guy running around with that. So let's go ahead and look at his card. We'll have to zoom in a bit and angle down here. Alright, the Lumberjack. So, what's going to be funny, they're going to have this little hand that comes in with little cards, which is a staple of the show, like, things that come through and says stuff. So, it's going to say what he does. He has Lumberjack song and his special Monty Python ability. And then he also has Start to the Fire Axe. So we'll look at that in just a second. He has yellow for 1 action, which is very typical. In orange, he has +1 die for melee, and then he has charge, which lets him move forward 2 spaces, I believe. I don't remember all these off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've read all of them. In red, we have +1 damage per melee, or 1 free melee action, or brother in arm +1 melee. Or 1 die for melee. So brother in arm, of course, means that as long as he's with anybody else, everyone in the group gets it. He's by himself, he loses the ability. Alright, so let's flip to the back and see what Lumberjack song does. So you just start with an axe. Just one quick thing. I want to see if in the equipment, did it come with... No, it does not come with an extra fire axe. So that'd be one from the base set. Once during your turn, after performing an action, you may sing, I'm a lumberjack, and I'm okay. I sweep all night, and I work all day. I don't know if that's the tune for it. Inviting other players to sing back, he's a lumberjack, and he's okay. He sleeps all night, and he works all day. If they do, they can immediately perform the same action for free. Then the lumberjack resumes his turn. That's crazy. I get this. This is definitely one of the things where it's like you want to be goofy. You're playing this set anyhow. I would probably indulge in this for that fact. But if you don't want to do that, you could probably just be like, "Hey, I'm activating this ability. You guys can perform the same action." But that's pretty cool. So you could perform an extra attack or extra move. But yeah, that's pretty fun. And plus, he starts with a fire axe, which is pretty powerful. So, yeah, there's a special extra rule in here that says, singing is not just speaking out loud. You need to put melody, passion, and your whole body into it. So that's kind of fun. Like, again, you're gonna kind of already, you're buying Monty Python and you're playing it. Probably gonna play kind of crazy. Alright, up next we have the Colonel. Again, you can definitely see this as being a guy in Zombicide. Like, these aren't, like, so far out there, wacky. It's not like I would say if you're playing Zombicide, let's say, like, you mix, like, the Marvel or DC one, let's say it's like, oh, I have a cop with a shotgun or a waitress with a chainsaw running next to, like, Spider-Man and Batman. That's kind of a little crazy. This guy, he's a colonel in an army. So yeah, you can see him definitely being like someone. Maybe you want to say he's a cosplayer or something. You could, use these guys as like that. Let's look at his actual card here. So his blue ability is covered up by This Is Silly. In yellow, he has his +1 action. In orange, he has 1 free ranged action, and then Destiny. God, I wish I would have brought my book over to remember what all these do. I believe Destiny lets you redraw an extra card or look at cards in your purchasing or you're looking through the deck. You draw like 2 cards and look. Born Leader, which lets him tell someone else how to take an action. He can search more than once. Which makes sense. You can search more. And Distributor lets you, when you're placing the zombies, you decide what order the zombie portals start at, I believe. So he's very, the first guy's very melee action. This guy's very commanding, taking things. Let's see what This Is Silly does. Once per zombie phase, you may yell, "Stop it, this is silly." Then choose a zombie within 1 range. It cannot perform move actions during this phase. Oh, that's pretty cool. Because it could stop even abominations. And then here's our little extra text. A pompous British accent is highly encouraged. So he's like, "Stop it, this is silly." That's my terrible British accent. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Alright, our third Monty Python is, just to focus a little bit, is Arthur Nudge. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yeah, so again, not a weapon, but again, his attire and everything's not outside of the Zombicide really, but yeah, he's got the nudge, 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 wink, wink. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting character. So we have his nudge, nudge ability. Yellow, he has 1 action. Blitz in orange lets him move forward extra 2 spaces, I believe. Taunt, that's very helpful. I love taunt. Draw enemy towards you. In red, we have 1 free movement action. Webbing lets him carry more items. And Zombie Link, so anytime a zombie rush card activates, he gets an extra activation as well. So kind of, yeah, so move around and cause some mayhem. What does Nudge Nudge do? Once during your turn, you may nudge a player next to you, winking and asking them knowingly, know what I mean? Know what I mean? Then insinuate any action. That player may immediately perform that action, and Arthur Nudge resumes his turn. Oh, that is funny. We do believe a proper elbowing nudge is called for, but as long as it is annoying enough and followed by innuendos, the action can be performed. Please note that Arthur Nudge chooses the action, so no alpha player is allowed here. That's funny, right? You gotta be like, you know what I mean? Know what I mean? A little wink, wink. He'll be like, you know, I don't even know what you'd say, like, wink, 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 you know, open that door, crack it open, if you know what I mean, type of thing. It's like, that could be pretty funny. Again, I think if you have, you're playing this, and you're, especially people that know the content and have seen it, they probably be able to act these roles a little bit more, but this could be a very hilarious playthrough. Especially because of the fact is, you're going to have to use other zombies for stuff. There's not enough in this just to play it by itself. But there's enough other cards in here, other zombies that it came with, and other stuff that you're not going to be stuck with just them fighting against regular zombies. So that'd be pretty cool. Alright, let's jump into our next guy. We have the Knight with a Raw Chicken. This is one I've never heard of either, but it's a guy in a suit of armor beating some of the chickens. Now, this one does, I say, lean into the fact of being a little bit more goofy than, so like, there's his card there, if we can look at that one too. This does lean into a little bit more of the goofy, a guy with a suit of armor running around. Okay, maybe possible in Zombicide, but like with a chicken, little less, but still pretty funny. So he starts with a raw chicken, and then he has an ability called Judged by the Raw Chicken. Action +1, Bloodlust Melee. Ooh, so we can get some extra damage from Bloodlust, or from doing melees, which is always good. Yeah, I was going to draw this raw chicken card here quick to show that off. He has tough, so he takes extra damage, or ignores the first point of damage. In red, 1 free combat action, Reaper Combat. Ooh, so he does, so he's our other melee guy. But it's also combat, so he can be ranged for that. And he has Swordmaster, which lets him dual wield swords. Too bad I don't think we get 2 raw chickens. So here's raw chicken, just as we can see that. It's one of the epic or elite items. 0 range, 4 dice, 4+ accuracy, does 2 damage, and does not make sound. That's actually pretty nice. Pretty decent weapon. Alright, so what does Judged by the Raw Chicken do? Once per player phase, if a survivor in your line of sight rolls no hits when performing a combat action, you immediately move to that survivor zone, ignoring enemies, and deal 1 wound to that survivor, unless they discard an equipment card. I don't know why you would want to use this. I mean, like, goofiness, yes, but I mean, it's not helpful to you at all. That's pretty cool. It's pretty funny. So let's see what it starts here. It has, properly judging another player is imperative for the success of the night. We highly recommend getting a rubber chicken to gently whack the players on the head when they whiz. We actually tried including a rubber chicken in the box, but the cheap date producer wasn't very keen on it. So I think the idea is kind of because he starts with a very, very powerful weapon, and this is to penalize the other players as a balance. It's sort of the gimmick of it. It kind of makes sense. It would be like if you had someone like traditional Zombicide start with like a rocket launcher, right? But then be like this is gonna hit everybody in the zone, like, right? There's no roll for misses, right? You're gonna hit everyone in like a cross zone. So like that's kind of the idea. It's like it penalizes everybody for, you know, him having a more powerful weapon. All right, our 5th Monty Python is the Fish Slapper. Let's see what his is. Again, outfit not bad, but he's kind of goofy because he's, you know, carrying a giant fish. I definitely like the models though; they're definitely cool. I have no objection to any of that. But what does our Fish Slapper do? He starts with a halibut. And then he has I am getting annoyed. Action in orange, +1 die roll for melee, and then Field Medic. Ooh, Field Medic's always helpful to be able to heal guys. In red, 1 free melee action. Roll 6 +1 combat damage, and Slippery so he can get out of get away from zombies. So he starts with the halibut, so a little bit easier card, or a little bit easier weapon. Melee, 0 range, 1 die, +5. So it's not going to hit as nearly as often, or because you don't get as many dice, but it does 2 damage and makes noise. But it also shoves enemies away. So that's kind of cool. Maybe starts with that. But what does his extra thing? I am getting annoyed. Start with 4 health, so he gets a little bit stronger. Whenever you suffer friendly fire while holding a halibut, automatically eliminate 1 zombie in your zone per friendly fire hit suffered. That's kind of neat, right? So he has an extra health point. He can get into melee damage. And then you can don't worry if someone shoots into his area. If they do happen to hit him, he at least gets to take out a zombie while taking that extra hit. Then he has Field Medic, so he can keep healing anyhow. So it's actually a pretty good combination. Alright, so our last survivor is Arthur Ewig. And maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but he's in a suit and he's carrying mallets. Yeah, so again, like, a little bit out of the ordinary, but not too crazy. He also has a mouse in his pocket. So if you look on there, got a little mouse in his pocket. There's another picture of him. Yeah, so very interesting. So let's see what his card does. He says, start with 2 mice playing mallets. So do we have those as a special item? Yes. So he has +1 action, +1 free melee action, Reaper for melee, Barbarian. Lets him roll extra dice for every zombie in the area, Bloodlust for combat, and Sprint for extra movement. So very interesting. We have 3 melee characters, like a support character, and kind of like an oddball character, but no ranged. So that's very interesting. There's no ranged characters in there. So he's going to get 2 copies of the dual-wielding mice playing mallets. 0 range, 2 dice, 5 accuracy, 1 damage, makes noise. If this roll rolls +1 die, if there's a face-up mouse token in the targeted zone. Interesting. So you gotta start with this. You gotta roll extra dice right off the bat because he starts with them. But we'll have to see what the musical mice does. So he's gonna get an extra little effect on here. So we have, at the start of your turn, if there's already a mouse token on the board, flip it face up if it's face down, and move it 2 zones in any direction, ignoring zombies. Otherwise, place 1 unused mouse token face up in any zone within 1 range. During their turn, any survivor in the same zone as a face-up mouse token may perform a free melee action. Then they flip the mouse token face down. However, if their attack rolls no hits, they remove the mouse token from the game instead. So we're trying to take out mice tokens. Start of your turn. If there's already a mouse token on the board, move up to 2 zones any direction, ignoring zombies. Otherwise, place 1 unused mouse token face up on the board. So flip it face up. So you're already going to flip it face up if they're already face down, may perform an attack. Alright, so I'm not entirely sure what the point of this are, but we have 5 of those. Or sorry, 7 of those. We learn how to count. And on the back they have musical notes. A sharp, B flat, C, D sharp, E flat, F, and G sharp. If I know my musical numbers right, and I might be wrong on those. I might actually have them backwards even. Yeah, so A through G. So is there another? I wonder if there's another card in the game that deals with that. Alright, so you guys have this. No mice were harmful designing this game. So it's face up and face down. We did miss the fish slapper for that reason. The fish slapper is pretty patient. Fortunately, when he lashes out, no survivors throwing in the river. Interesting. So those are our 6 new survivors. Then we are going to jump over into some enemies. Actually, let's look at our items first. We've already seen some of them, so let's look at the rest of them. We have halibut, we've seen. We have 4 copies of the 16-ton weight. As an action, stretch your arm holding 6 dice about 1 foot, your foot, above the game board and drop the dice. Any actor laid down or immediately eliminated, then discard this card. So you're dropping this on the board. The hitting actors are survivors, zombies, abominations, anything on the board. I like that it's also silent. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, that's a very interesting card, right? You hold them up there, you're gonna drop some dice on the board and see who you can take out. Very interesting. Then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of the funniest joke in the world. 3 survivors holding this card are in the same zone. One of them may spend an action on their turn to eliminate all other actors within 1 range with open ears. Then all 3 survivors discard this card. Interesting. So you have 6 of them, so you can use this essentially twice. Creates a noise token as well, it looks like. And it says, yeah, here it says, but open ears. So on the rules, it actually does specify as long as your ears are uncovered. So there you have to have a rule thing of being like, does the thing have covered ears or not? Maybe they have helmets, maybe they have earphones on. You know, or they don't have ears. Maybe some zombies don't have ears. So that could be very interesting. Plus, you gotta use it to your advantage. You could actually, hey, I have a survivor that's wearing headphones, so they're perfectly fine. Versus, you know, you fighting a zombie that has no head. Kind of cool. It's an interesting little idea. Also, then we have our 2 mice playing mallets. Saw those. We had our raw chicken. Cool. So those are our main equipment. There are some other ones, but they're special ones. So we're gonna look at those in a little bit. Alright, we're gonna look at our zombies. So they're gonna have the same zombie backs as everything else. So you can use them, mix them in with everything else. But we are going to get the silly walkers. So we're gonna check our card first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versions of them. So they're all the same thing. 4 in red, 3 in orange, 2 in yellow, 1 in blue. So the silly walkers are funny, silly walking characters. So yeah, let's look at their miniatures quick. Sorry. So we're going to have this guy here. Whoops. So there are these little guys carrying umbrellas in a little briefcase, or satchel. So he's getting ready to walk. Yeah, not zombies, but, you know, maybe kind of terrifying. Not too bad there. Then he lifts his foot up. Does this weird outstretched leg walk. And then the next one, when he does that, Guys, his foot up. And then finally, we have his leg stretched way out. Yeah, they're pretty funny. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of set all 4 of them down here. You kind of see that they're kind of neat that they made 4 different versions. So we do have some rules for them. So, to get the Silly Walkers in your game, simply add the 6 Silly Walker zombie cards to the zombie deck. They're used to spawn zombies the usual way. Silly Walkers follow the target party and extra activation of walkers. 1 action, 1 wound to eliminate deals 1 damage. Generally provided 1 special rules. When 1 or more Silly Walkers in the same zone would move, roll a die to determine their movement. 1, they move 1 zone away from their target. 2 to 5, they move 2 zones towards their target. And 6, they move up to 3 zones towards their target. So that's kind of crazy, right? Because you're worried about walk or runners having to come towards you. These guys could potentially move 3 zones towards you easily. More often, 2 zones, same as a walker or a runner. But they could rarely, occasionally, move away from you, which is kind of fun. So that's kind of an interesting little set of zombies there. Alright, up next, we have everyone's favorite, probably one of the most recognizable ones, is we have the Spanish Inquisition. So we have 2 copies of this card. So 3 in red, 3 in orange, 2 in yellow, and 1 in blue. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. It's a very famous line. Alright, so let's look at these guys here. So we have the first one. That's when he's running in, kind of holding up his fingers. So he's telling everyone to sort of stop. We have the second one there who's carrying pillows. And it's like an aviator almost helmet. And then the third one who has the scroll or the documents. It's probably the, I'm not sure what document it's supposed to be. There's nothing written on there though. Yeah, so those guys are kind of interesting. These guys are also very fun. Let's throw all 3 of them out there quick just to kind of get a glance at all 3 of them together. They also have some special rules, the same thing. To get done in the game, simply add the 2 Spanish Zombie Inquisition decks to the zombie deck. 2 Spanish Inquisition to the equipment deck and 2 to the weapons deck. Add all of them. All the zombies spawn the same as regular zombies. Follow attributions as regular brutes. So they're treated as brutes instead of walkers. So they have 1 action, 1 wound, eliminate, take 2 damage, provide 1 ground. Special rules: when a Spanish Inquisition card is drawing from any deck, they spawn according to the danger level. When they spawn, they immediately activate unless all players immediately. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Clarification: if 1 or more players are caught by surprise and fail to yell as soon as the card is revealed, the Spanish Inquisition activates immediately. Feel free to complain to them about their lack of teamwork. So that's kind of funny. Again, like, you get a joke with it. That everybody has to shout it at the same time. Yeah, so we went back to the cards here. So these 2 are in the zombie deck. But that's why I said we did have some other special equipment. So in our blue deck, we get 2 more cards. Because, hey, no one expects them, right? They're going to pop up in your equipment deck. And we get 2 more in the red deck. So that's kind of fun. Like, these guys could pop up from anywhere. But now, unlike, so you're always going to only summon 1 of these guys at a time. So you're going to have a lot of options to summon them. So that is pretty fun there. Alright. Then the next one we have one more zombie. We have Spam. We have 2 copies of this. These are regular zombies. Until the start of the next zombie phase, players must replace any noun with spam, otherwise walkers activate, draw the next card. So yeah, this is a little bit interesting because it's not actually a physical miniature on the game or on the board. It's just a card. Yes, yeah, to the start of the next zombie phase, player must speak replacing any noun with spam. Otherwise all walkers activate. So yeah, you gotta be very careful. Again, you're playing Goofy, so be careful. But also it means you're using your abilities, you have to say spam. Like, right, if you're reading your abilities out, which you should be doing, a couple of these abilities also require you to actually say specific lines, so that would make a difference there as well. Additionally, besides getting them for zombies, in the Abomination deck, we're going to get 2 more spam cards. Just say spam, 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 spam. In the Blue Equipment deck, we'll get 2 more spam cards. Which I love how they have, just spam replacing all the different symbols. Range, dice, accuracy, damage, type of weapon, what it does, whether it's single-handed, double-handed. And then we get 2 for the reds. You actually get 8 total in the game. Whenever spam cards are drawing, all players must substitute any noun towards spam. This effect lasts until the beginning of the next zombie phase. If any player fails to do so, they must activate all walkers on the board after spam cards drawing another card of the same type. So they're also going to spawn something else. I think I'll move 2 spams over to where the spam is. Then using my last spam, I'll attack with my spam. Rolling 5 spam should be enough. And with spam that'll give me, I'll gain an extra spam. It's a very, very goofy, but definitely fits into the theme of this entire set. Alright, then we're going to hop into the Abominations. So we have our Abominations here. We have Hell's Grannies. 2 damage to eliminate each one. Always move twice towards the key token placed in a zone by the furthest survivor. Deal 2 damage to an actor in each zone they enter or leave. If they reach the token, remove all of them and activate all zombies. So here's that key token. Make key, not love. So Hell's Grannies is obviously is like a kind of like a take on like Hell's Angels, which is a biker group. So it's that's kind of like a portrait of that. So let's look at those guys quick. Yes, you have to worry about, there's Hell's Granny embroidered on the back of their jackets. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. We had some silly suit guys in here, some vicious grandmas, some Spanish Inquisition guys. She doesn't have it on the back of hers, but yeah, that's very, very funny. And also to keep in mind that these are all guys dressed up as grannies as well. That's kind of a funny thing to think about. And then the last one, cracking our knuckles. So I'll drop all 4 of them down so we can kind of get a little look at them all together. Yes, that's always fun as well, something like that. Alright, so they have to eliminate 2 damage for each of Hell's Granny. Generally, 5 Gullah survivors and the last Granny is eliminated. Special rules. Hell's Granny Abominations consist of 4 miniatures. When they spawn, also place the key token in the same zone as the survivors furthest from them. When they activate, Hell's Grannies never perform attack actions. They all move together towards the key token. In each zone the Hell's Grannies enter or leave, they deal 2 damage to one other actor there. Following the targeting priority. Survivors coming first. If the Hell's Grannies reach the key token, remove the token and Hell's Grannies from the board and then activate all the zombies on the board. So they're actually going to be a very legitimate threat because they're going to walk around the board. You can use them to your advantage, kind of, depending on where, I guess, where everything is when it spawns. Wherever that key token is, just where they're going to move. Just avoid it. But you can also lure other zombies in their pathway, because when they get in there, an actor, again, is any zombie or survivor. So they will hit anybody else. Granted, they deal 2 damage. So they'll take out walkers, they'll take out brutes, and they'll take out, they won't take out abominations, obviously. But yeah, you could kind of stand, like, by that key token and draw other zombies and move towards you, getting in their pathway. And when they enter, they're going to deal 2 damage. When they leave, they're going to deal 2 damage. You just want to make sure you're not in their zone when they do it. Otherwise, you want to make sure you also try and eliminate them, though, before they get there. Otherwise, everything's going to activate, and that could be very bad for you. But yeah, that's really fun. I like the idea of having these multiple guys that kind of work together. And that's a really interesting idea. Alright, let's hop into our next abomination. So let's look at this guy here. This is our fish slapping dancer. So he kind of goes with our, come on, you can focus, I believe in you. He kind of goes with our other guy. We had our fish slapper, so now we have the fish slapping dancer. And it's probably the exact same guy. Yeah, let's look at his card here. And kind of see what he looks like. So again, this is an abomination. Alright, so he moves 2 zones per move action. A survivor in their turn in his zone must spend their first action moving him into an adjacent zone containing another survivor if possible. Alright. 1 action, 1 wound to eliminate 3 damage. Adrenaline provides 5. Special is fish slapping dancer moves 2 zones per movement action. If the survivor starts their turn in the same zone as a fish slapping dancer, they must spend their first action moving him to an adjacent zone containing a survivor if possible. Otherwise, ignore this ability. So that's kind of crazy, right? You have to spend an action to get rid of him if possible, so you can't even attack him right away, which is very annoying. Otherwise, he's going to, you're going to have to deal, otherwise you just attack him if there's nobody around. It's kind of interesting. Alright, our next abomination is the undead parrot. He's just very small, miniature like that. It's very funny. So we're gonna get him, and I just want to put him down there and compare him to a survivor. Just as you can see, just laying on the bottom down there. The undead parrot cannot be eliminated. Roll a die at the start of each zombie phase. He only activates on a +5, performing 3 actions. So he has adrenaline provide none, unless you can prove he's actually dead. Special rule, at the beginning of the zombie phase, roll a die, 1 to 4. It's resting. Undead parrot doesn't activate, it just lets flag on its back. 5 to 6, boom! Undead parrot activates normally. But it gets 3 actions when it does it. So it's pretty crazy, right? So you kind of lay there and not do anything, and then maybe all of a sudden it's like, boom, it's going to start hitting you and attacking you. So you don't want to, like, you risk skirting around it. That's up to you, I guess. Alright, our next abomination is the Nude Organist. I wish the organ had a little bit more on the back of it, maybe just something, a little bit plain. But yeah, we're gonna get a naked guy on a piano. That's terrifying. You kind of, like, assume some of these, like, if you're like, why aren't we only fighting zombies in the game? He's got like a noose around his neck, it looks like, and then it's supposed to be a tie, actually. But yeah, you could be like, why are we fighting all these crazy other people? Well, apocalypse happens, some people just go insane, right? That'd be my thought. Yeah, it's a piano tie on there. Any player starting their turn within line of sight of him must perform their entire turn with their eyes closed. Oh, that is That is mean and hilarious at the same time. Um, 1 action, 1 wound dealt, eliminate 3. General provided 5. You start your turn on the last side of the Nude Organist. Close your eyes. You must perform your entire turn with your eyes closed. When your turn ends, you may open your eyes again. Yeah. I suppose you could have other people try and, like, shout things to you and maybe try and help you out, but, like, that's pretty crazy. Alright, then the very last thing we have is we have one more abomination. We have the foot. So, like, during Monty Python, this drops down, stomps on, like, signs, does things like that. Kind of stomps on, like, maybe change the scene. So, its attack deals 2 wounds. If a survivor rolls 2 ones, place a foot in their zone, then deal 1 damage to all actors there. Then move them to any adjacent zone. Ignore this by discarding pointy equipment. I'll read, and then we'll look at that in miniature in just a sec. 1 action, 2 wounds dealt, eliminate. 3 to eliminate, 5 survivors. So I rolls 2 or more, 1 when performing a combat action. Place a foot in the same zone as survivor, so it hops to wherever you are if you ever roll 2 ones. The foot deals 1 damage to all actors in the zone, survivors and zombies. Then move all other actors to adjacent zones, so it spreads them out. This special rule can be ignored if any survivor in the targeted zone discards what can be considered a pointy equipment. So sword, knife, nails. But there's the foot. I didn't put it on my thing because it's just so big. Yeah, it's a giant foot. There it is next to one of the survivors. And next to one of those guys. That is what we have for all of the new character survivors. So definitely plenty of interesting concept. Again, I feel like if you're going to get this, you probably know Monty Python fairly well, so you're going to joke around a lot more. You want to play some of the silly aspects. But I like to, even if you kind of avoid doing some of the silly voices and some of this stuff, there is some neat stuff to be played in here with the stuff. Like, the spam cards probably be the only ones you'd almost have to be like, you have to take them out if you're not going to do the goofy stuff. All the other things, like having to say certain lines or sing things, you could just opt to not do them or roll a die, 50-50, something like that. Could be very interesting on what to do. Alright, the last thing we want to look at for this set before looking at extra promo set is there was a mission. Now for a completely unexpected mission. The Flying Circus is in town. Hell's Grannies are looking to drink some tea, and we have to tell our best joke if we hope to survive this parrot dilemma. Off we go. Materials needed is 2nd edition and the Monty Python Flying Circus. Objectives. Put the parrot to rest. Accomplish these objectives in this order. Eliminate the undead parrot abomination. Reach the exit with all survivors. Bunch of special rules. Place all the Hell's Granny on the key token indicated on the map. Place your foot is indicated on the map. Place the 6 walkers and 1 brute on the map. Use this mission only uses abominations from the Monty Python pack. Shuffle the 6 silly walkers into the zombie card deck. Shuffle the Spanish Inquisition into their deck. Interesting. So yeah, we have the Hell's Grannies and the foot. We're not using extra abominations. 6 walkers and a brute. Yeah, there's the map setup. So the key starts way over here. The Grannies start way over here. So they're going to slowly try and make their way across the map. The foot starts over here kind of by himself. But then, yeah, there's some other guys in the way. Very interesting. Eventually you have to survive long enough for the parrot to get summoned, and then you have to try and take him out. The joke. Each right objective gives 5 AP to the survivor who takes it. The survivor immediately draws the funniest joke in the world card from the equipment deck, then reshuffles it. Interesting. Did I miss how? Yeah, because there's lots there. There's 5 red ones. Heavyweight. The green object is taken, draw a 16-ton weight card from the equipment deck and reshuffle it. This is the next parrot. When the blue objective token is placed on a good parrot and responds to it. Okay, so that's how you get him. Without him, you just hope for him. Hello, Polly. The undead parrot can be eliminated with the funniest joke in the world. And spam crates. Each epic weapon crate gives a random epic weapon amongst those still available to the survivor who takes it. They can reorganize their inventory. Interesting. He's running off with the 6th tile, which is pretty funny as well. Alright, that is what we have for the main core set of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Plenty of ridiculousness. Extra content. Yeah, if you want something a little bit goofy, just want some more characters, some different content. Definitely something you could pick up and play. Alright, then we are going to look at the Gumby pack, which again was the pre-order bonus. So again, you only got it if you pre-ordered it. There might be some online stores that maybe bought both. eBay, usually people sell them, but you'll usually find these packs sell for a lot more than the base set, just because they're so exclusive. So again, we'll see if it's worth it to you. We're going to get 6 different Gumbies. My brain hurts. Gumbies tend to be loud and clueless, but also potentially dangerous in a zombie apocalypse. If you gather enough Gumbies, you can kind of make one half-decent survivor, or they can follow you around to pummel zombies with their angry little clench fists. But if they form a mob, they can overwhelm you with their sheer stupidity. So yeah, these guys are going to be very interesting. So let's look at the miniatures first, and then we will hop into what they do. So we're going to get these little guys here. So there's this guy here. They all kind of have, like, different types of suspenders and sweaters on. Bandanas on. Not bandanas. They go, like, I don't know what they're, like, cloth headbands. So there's that one. Big high boots. Jeans rolled way up. So I zoom out and I just get closer. Maybe that's a little bit nicer. So this guy has some bricks. Not what you really want to be fighting. I'm going to pull these other 2 back up really quick, because maybe they'll look a little bit... I have my camera zoomed way in. So we just look at these guys again really fast, because maybe they'll show up a little bit better. This guy's kind of like, oh, I'm ready for a fight. I cannot imagine trying to paint all the little lines on those shirts. So there's some that have very similar-ish poses, but they're all just slightly different. And we get the last one, who has bricks against his head. So now we did have the one card that mentioned if they can't hear anything. This would definitely be one that I would say, hey, he has his ears covered. Right? It's just kind of fun. You could eliminate all of them. So I'm going to line all of them up so we can kind of look at them all together. Yeah, so you can see, like, we have a couple, like, these 3 guys kind of very similar-esque poses, but they're slightly different. Like, his legs are together, his legs are apart. So they do work a little bit better. There again is the picture of them. Different poses, it breaks, different heads in different spaces. Alright, let's look at what they do in the game. Is the gameplay worth buying 6 more miniatures? So first of all, we're going to get a survivor card. So this is going to have 6 health, thick as a brick, 1 action. So they're going to have a very special way of playing. In orange, they have 1 die for melee, and then they have charge. In red, they have 1 damage for melee, 1 free melee actually, and Brothers in Arms plus 1 die for melee. So again, keeping in mind, with combined with the other characters, it's another full melee guy. There's no really ranged characters in this set. Thick as a Brick says, you're sideways on their card. Only way to probably pick them. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 action to perform a ranged attack. So there we go, we get a ranged guy in here. Rolling a number of dice equal to the number of Gumby miniatures on the board. If your roll no hits, another survivor in a line of sight must roll a die. On one, that survivor suffers a wound. Awesome. So how do these guys work? So, my brain hurts. The survivors are unique skill like the blue described on the back. The Gumby survivor starts the game with 6 health and 6 Gumby miniatures. They always move together as if they're a single miniature, but each miniature counts as 1 noise token, so there are technically 6 noise on the board. When Gumby suffers a wound, remove 1 Gumby miniature from the game. The survivors are eliminated when there are no Gumbies left. Cannot perform search actions, cannot get into cars, may suffer friendly fire from other survivors performing melee attacks in their zone. So they're almost a hindrance to play as. They have some neat abilities, right? They have lots of health, which is super helpful, but they can't find new weapons, so they have to rely on other people to find them and give them to them. Plus, if they're in a melee zone with somebody else, they can potentially take damage. But the idea, though, they can get that ranged attack here by rolling that number of dice equal, so they can roll right off the bat, just 6 dice. Right away, but they're going to be very noisy and attract lots of zombies. So they are goofy enough. They can be a challenge for someone to play as. Then what we have is pull that down. We have a blue card here. We have a companion card. So here, if you want to play them as a companion, get your Gumby as a companion in your game. Simply add your companion card to the equipment deck as a companion. Recognize a survivor who has their card as their inventory as their leader. Companion cards can be traded and lost the same way as regular equipment. Our survivor is 6 miniatures, all move together, same thing, counts as 1 noise token. Eliminated upon receiving 6 wounds. Whenever suffers a wound, remove 1 Gumby unless otherwise stated. The game is lost if the last Gumby is eliminated, because it's still considered a survivor. Move freely with their leader as long as they're all in the same space, in case you all special move-related abilities. Do not have an inventory and cannot search. A survivor with the Gumby companion cannot get into a car. So they work much like any other companion. Do not have any actions. The leader can spend their own actions to give instructions at the cost of 1 action given by the leader. They can either move 1 zone, melee attack, seeing their card, charge, move the Gumbies up to 2 zones and perform their melee attack. After the attack, remove 1 Gumby from the board or make some noise. They already make 6 noise, like they really need to make more. But you can have like one down to like 1 or 2, they could do that to help out. So their attack is there's a hole in the knife there, that's kind of funny. So it says attack, roll dice equaling number of Gumbies. Charge, they move 2 zones, then attack, remove 1 Gumby. So they roll that, they have to have 6 plus, they do 1. So not always the best, but again, they're going to be very challenging. They could almost be like a handicap in a sense. Up next, we have an abomination version, if you'd like to play them as an abomination. Each Gumby deals 1 wound, 2 damage to eliminate each. When a rush card is drawn, roll 1 die for each Gumby. For each 5 plus roll, deal 1 wound to each survivor within 1 range. So there's that. Simply adding the abomination. 1 action, wounds 1 per Gumby on the board. So they're really strong, but as you slowly eliminate them, they'll get weaker and weaker. But 5 to all survivors when the last one eliminated. So they give you a lot of AP for everybody. Special rule consists of 6 miniatures. They all spawn, move, attack together. Rush card is drawn, roll 1 die for each Gumby on the board. Each is 5 plus result, wound to all survivors within 1 range. yeah, so they can definitely be a pain to fight against. I would think out of the 3 modes, I would probably want to play them against them. Just because I think that would be interesting to play against, a little bit challenging. I think the whole having 6 noise plus some of their ability, Survivor might be interesting. Companions would be very risky, I think. That is what we have for those. Then the very last thing we have is just an ability card. It just has them on the back. It's just for thick as a brick. It's just a reminder on how this works. So that way when you have them, you can just have this next to them as a special ability, as a ranged attack. It'd be kind of cool if somebody could like hand out to somebody else, but it wouldn't work for anybody else. Yeah, so that's what we have for that. So my personal opinion, unless you're a diehard Monty Python Flying Circus fan and you really love these guys, so it might be either or both of those caveats, you could maybe skip this for that reason. Otherwise, yeah, they add some extra interesting gameplay, 3 different ways to play as them. Even if nothing else, and you pick this up because maybe this doesn't go as expensive as some of the other ones because maybe it's not as cool of a character or as known as a character, so maybe it's a little bit cheaper, and you can pick this up even if you don't want to play with them for any of them things. If nothing else, they are gray like all zombies and stuff, so that's kind of nice. So you could just replace them as 6 different walkers in the game and have these oddball looking guys as walkers instead of zombies. So that could be something fun as well. But that's what we have for the Monty Python Flying Circus Zombicide 2nd Edition. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit me up in the comments if you'd like me to go over anything else, show anything, other things you'd like to see. Catch you guys later. Bye.